Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Now, in case you missed the memo, the big trend this year is experience over products. So when I found that Dirk Erat from Airbus was at the Adobe Summit this week, I jumped at the chance to grab a quick chat with him for today's show. Now, Dirk is the head of communications for Airbus Defence and Space. So I wanted to find out more about how Airbus are using cutting-edge technologies to make their products safer, smarter and more connected. Now, Airbus is a European multinational corporation that designs, manufactures and sells civil and military aeronautical products worldwide, with roughly 180 locations and 12,000 direct suppliers globally. Airbus is also the second largest space company in the whole world, as well as a top 10 defence company. Now, aerospace has always been at the upper end of new technology, so I'm quite excited to get him on today and also just geek out a little talking about planes and space. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to London so we can chat with Dirk from Airbus. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
My name is Dirk Erat. I'm working with Airbus. I'm leading the communications department for Defence and Space within Airbus, and have a second role, which is I'm running the digital communications department for the whole Airbus group.
Fantastic. Now, being head of communications for Airbus Defence and Space sounds incredibly cool, but I imagine that you're fairly limited as to what you can share with me today. But can you share a few of the exciting projects that you are involved with at the moment?
On the Defence and Space side, what is at the moment the most exciting thing is the German-French agreement on defense cooperation. Last July, the President and the Chancellor, they agreed on common defense topics, common defense projects, and one of the biggest one for us will be the future fighter. Today, France with the Rafale and Germany with the Eurofighter. We both have fighters. They will end their service in 2035 or so, and we agreed to develop a common fighter aircraft between Germany and France, which is the biggest project and which is a super exciting topic for the European defense industry, and it's a signal from Europe that we take care about our sovereignty and not just buy defense by the US companies and hope that the US will protect us when it comes to a crisis. So this is super exciting. On the other side, what is exciting as well is in defense, and especially in space, we gather tons of data, and digitalisation enables us to get these data out of prison, make use out of these data, and find new business cases with this data. And they're not specifically in defense or space, but it's data we gather from there and use this data for completely new business cases, business models we never have thought about in the last 10, 15 years. And this is super exciting too.
Fantastic. Now, Airbus has also recently hit the headlines with some exciting news about ultra-long-range planes that will open the way for the world's longest flights, but also with unbeatable economics too. So for anyone listening that missed that announcement that makes a non-stop 20-hour flight possible, can you just offer a brief overview of what that means to the industry, but also how it opens up new routes and can actually connect more countries and more cities?
I mean, we're meeting here at the Adobe Experience Summit.
Yeah.
We're talking about experience, and this is exactly experience.
Absolutely.
We are offering with this ultra long range an experience to the customer of our airlines that they don't need to change aircraft, that they don't have a break when they fly from Singapore to New York, but they can stay in the aircraft. which is a completely different experience. You save time. You don't need to change. You don't need to wake up maybe somewhere in Munich or in Paris. It's a completely different experience, which is super cool for the passengers, and we offer that in two different areas. We have the A350 long range, but as well the A320 or the 21. This is an aircraft where we offer as well a long version where you can fly from Europe to the US, for example. And those are both, first for the, as I said, with the experience to the passenger, it's a completely new dimension, but as well for our customers, for the airlines, it's a highly efficient concept in order to offer a service they weren't able to offer that before.
Yeah. As we're here in the UK, am I correct in saying you'll be able to go from the UK to Perth in Australia in 20 hours? Is that right as well?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, God, absolutely. So can you also tell me about some of the cutting-edge technologies that you're using to make Airbus products safer, smarter, and ultimately more connected too?
What is one of the biggest challenges we have in Airbus is digitalisation, is how to make use of what's been done in other industries like automotive with an end-to-end digital production. And this is something as an aircraft production or even worse a satellite production it's kind of handmade.
Yeah.
A satellite more than an aircraft and commercial aircraft, but it's not as automated as it could be, and it's not as automated as in different industries. And this is one of the biggest area today where we improve quality, but as well improve our cost base and becoming much more flexible in our design, development, and production and after service business, with implementing digital tools, with implementing an end-to-end digital process in manufacturing and developing aircrafts, and that will offer completely different services as well, because you can simulate a service already before you have designed the aircraft, because you're in the same system, you're in the same tool, and today we are not able to offer this kind of service.
So I've got to ask, because we are at the Adobe Summit, where does Adobe fit into all this for Airbus? I mean, can you tell me more about what Adobe products you use and also how they help your business at Airbus?
We use Adobe today in the communications department. We use Adobe for content creation. What we do in the communications department, there we have our own digital transformation, is we wanna create a content process which is end-to-end digital in the same process landscape. Today we create content in different functions in different areas, or in different tools, and with Adobe we want to transform and integrate the communications function into a seamless content production system on the same process landscape with the same tool landscape, and therefore we are using Adobe. And beyond communications in marketing, we enter into B2B2C areas, like with our iFly A380. We talk directly to end customers of our airlines. Why? We see that the A380 is the icon of Airbus. It is our prestige aircraft, and people want to fly A380. So, and what we offer there, and this is done via the Adobe software, we offer to customers, to passenger, possibility to search for their flight, but only with an A380 in between. And then they can go from the website, the iFly A380 website, directly to the airline website and book the ticket, or to other ticket homepages like booking.com. Yeah. This is done with Adobe, and this is, I think, a new way to approach our end customers. This is a new way to B2B2C, where we need different kinds of software.
Cool. So is this your first Adobe Summit, and is there anything else that you've enjoyed here, or any key themes that you're going to be taking back to Airbus?
It is my first Adobe Summit, and what I like is the spirit, is the engagement, is really it's a big crowd and they just want to make it happen. They're super into the stuff, and you meet someone and in 2 seconds you're connected and you're completely deeply into discussions on the same topics. So this is really, it's a great experience what they offer here, as you have same-minded people, and they all have the same issues, the same challenges, and they're all looking achieving the same way of doing things better and different.
So aerospace has always been at the upper end of new technology, but in an industry that is slow to adapt to change, what are your biggest challenges? I mean, is it that it takes a lot longer to get new tech out on the market because of authority approval, or is it something entirely different?
I think for us, the two things which is super exciting and difficult. The first is how to become faster to develop an aircraft. If it's a military or if it's a commercial aircraft, it takes years. And the question is, with new processes, with an end-to-end digital system, is it possible to reduce the time to develop an aircraft massively? Same with the development of a satellite or a defense aircraft. And the second thing is, what do we do with our data? We create massive data with our satellites, with our aircrafts. We have millions of sensors flying around the world in our aircraft. We collect images with our satellites from the whole world every day. And what can we do with this data? This is one of the biggest challenges. And this leads to the question, what is the business model of Airbus in 10 to 15 years? Is it still produce aircraft? Mm-hmm. Is it still to produce platforms? Or do we need to transform our business into a different environment and use data we are not able, or we do not know how to use it, or what could be the business case out of this data?
Now, we mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but many people listening today are probably completely unaware that Airbus is the second largest space company in the world, as well as a top 10 defence company. So can you tell me more about Airbus's involvement in the space programme, and why do you think it's taken so long to get excited again about exploring space and beyond?
Space is a super sexy topic, and if you go into our social listening tools, and if you take our media analysis for a full year, space is always the most positive we have. In let's say the last 10 years, space developed massively as well in the public opinion. People love space, and big happenings like Rosetta, they helped a lot. In the past, space was a bit of a dry topic, let's say 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and this changed completely. And as well, thanks to people like Elon Musk. I mean, he gave space a great visibility. And for us, space is a great topic. First, because it's a good business, but second, it's a super sexy business with super interesting topics, and it's as well as an employer brand a great topic to attract people, because it's really at the edge of technology. Yeah. And you can tell stories you never could think about these stories when you don't see the examples we can make happen. It's really cool. It's one of the most exciting topics I think we have in the company.
Absolutely. And when Elon Musk obviously put was it a Lamborghini, was it, in space? Are you going to put an Airbus in there?
Yeah.
So how do you see technology further transforming everything that you do, and indeed the entire industry, over the next few years?
I think it's the same what we discussed already. It's becoming more digital. It's becoming end-to-end digital. It's usage of data, create new businesses out of data, use different material, because you can project in your digital development and design process already where you might need different material. So with new data, new possibilities, processing in clouds, it's a huge variety of topics which will completely disrupt our life in the whole enterprise.
Well, a huge thanks for taking the time to come and speak to me today and coming off the show floor. But before I do let you go, can you remind the listeners of where they can find out more information about Airbus, stay in touch with the latest developments, and maybe if they've got a question after listening to our conversation today, what's the best way of them reaching out to you guys?
So the best way to get in touch with Airbus is come down to Toulouse.
Is what, sorry?
Is come down to Toulouse, see our aircrafts, see the big parking places we have with all these super sexy aircraft, or go to Bremen, where we have the satellites, space station in Bremen that you can see.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. So go to our sites, have a factory tour, go to Hamburg, and just get in touch. Try to see what we are doing there. It's really exciting. It's really cool. Second is go on social. We've created last year a new space account on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter. and on Facebook. And this is the best way. We have super fancy stuff there, games and cool videos on YouTube. And this is where you can easily get in touch with us as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have all those links to the show notes just so anyone listening can get hold of you guys nice and easy. And also, I'm going to have to look into a trip to Hamburg, of course, aren't I, to check out one of these factory tours. But more than anything, just a big thank you for taking the time to speak to me today.
With pleasure. Thank you.
Dirk was a complete gentleman at the show, and I really enjoyed chatting with him about the future of aviation and space travel. But once again, it's how tech is actually helping create those experiences. And another great moment from the summit this week was when Claire Cronin, CMO of Virgin Atlantic, highlighted the experience factor further by saying, "Suntans may fade, but memories don't." How a company interacts with their customer and the customer experience they provide is now proving to be just as important as any service or product that they provide. But hey, what are your thoughts about this mindset and also technology's roles in it? As always, email me at techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes. I genuinely would love to hear your thoughts on this. So keep those emails coming in and tweets too. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.